Go ahead, Martin. Martin's here. We're looking through cards. We're looking for a story. I'm going to find a story for you right now. And it's going to be this one. This is called, oh, wait, no, hold on. There's two of them together. Attempting suicide while in jail or Harry Cats. We're going to do attempting suicide while in jail. All right. Do you know who that football player, Aaron Hernandez, he killed himself in jail, right? Mm-hmm. He hung his sheet against the bars. Okay, I did that. I tried that. Okay, didn't work. Thank God, right? It was the third time I'd been arrested. Okay, so I've been in 3 times. Every time you get arrested, they take your psychiatric meds away from you, and you have to wait till the psychiatrist comes, and she only comes on Wednesday. Okay, so I must have been arrested on a Thursday because by Tuesday of the following week, I hadn't even slept. I hadn't slept in 4 days. And I was in this little cell, me and this other guy, and then these cells are like, 6 feet by 10 feet, and now it was A5. It was A5, no sleep. And I had written an email to the medical staff saying, I need to see a psychiatrist as soon as possible. They didn't respond. So I'm freaking out. Like, why don't these people respond to me? So I'm laying in bed. It's like they close the doors like at 11:30 at night. And it makes this huge clanking sound when they close the door. Crash! Really loud when they close those doors. And you just go like that when you know what happens. So you're laying in bed, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. 5 nights in a row. I can't do it. And I decided I was going to kill myself. So I took the sheet, and the first thing I thought was, well, am I going to write a suicide note? And I was going to write, sorry, Susan, and sorry, kids. That was going to be it. That was going to be my suicide note. I decided not to. I said, that was ridiculous. Why should I write that? Why should I write something down on a piece of paper? So I got myself out of bed, right? I tied, they didn't have bars, they had like a mesh. And I tied the one end of the sheet to one side, and I tied the other end to the other side, and I scooted around behind it so my back was against the cell, and I put my head in this thing, in this noose. I basically made a noose. And I lifted my feet. Okay, I lifted my feet off the ground so that my neck would push right down against the noose that I created. And I did it. And I went like this, and I lifted my legs, and it hurt. I remember, yeah, it hurts. I'm like, this is right. I'm doing it right. And then, bam, I blacked out. Okay. When I came to, I was on the floor. I had no idea what the fuck happened. I had no idea where I was. I had no idea about anything. I woke up. I was seeing bright lights, just nothing but bright lights. I thought I was in Wisconsin on vacation at a lake. It was like shimmering like that. That's what it looked like. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Am I on vacation in Wisconsin? Is that possible? I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I gotta get myself together here. I'm like, wait a minute, where am I? Okay. Well, I said to myself, if I was on vacation in Wisconsin, I probably would know that, right? It wouldn't be a surprise. Like, it wouldn't come on to me all of a sudden. It's like, no, I'm not on vacation in Wisconsin. I'm like, look around, like, I'm still in jail. And for some reason, I started screaming. Okay, I started screaming, help me, somebody help me, or something like that. I started screaming. It was like 2 a.m. All these guards come rushing up, and they got their shock boxes and everything, their paramedic stuff. They come running in, pull me out of the cell, right? They're dragging me into the medical place. There's a nurse, 24 hours. There's a nurse there, and she's like, "What's the matter with you?" I'm like, "I need my psychiatric meds. I've been here for 5 days. I couldn't stand it anymore." She's like, if you waited 2 more days, you would have seen a psychiatrist. That's what she said. She goes, you couldn't hold on for 2 more days? I'm like, but you didn't send me an email. I didn't know. So she said I was a big baby for trying to kill myself. So that wasn't all of it. That's not the end of the story. They don't put you back in your cell when you do that. They take you to the psych ward. Okay, so I hadn't even gotten to the psych ward yet. So the psych ward is the worst place you can be. Although, I'm sorry, the tunnels of Gaza are the worst place you can be. But next to that, the psych ward's pretty bad. You're naked, right? You're naked. You have the turtle suit, which is, you've seen it. It's the big, thing. You see them. They got Velcro on them. Your ass is always out. Your ass is always out. All you have is a mat, like this thick, a mat. You lay on the mat. Your hip touches this concrete. You're pressing against concrete for hours at a time. You shift your body, and then you do it for a few more hours, and you're there by yourself for 3 days. And there was this guy across the hall from me, Daniel, okay? This guy was in the psych ward too. Oh, by the way, and they fed you. They had a little slot, and they would slip a styrofoam box in, and it would always have a bologna sandwich. That was it, bologna sandwich. And it had the letters FF on the styrofoam. It took me a really long time to figure out what FF was, but I finally figured it out. Finger food, that's what it was, FF, finger food. And one time, somebody did a little smiley face on top of the styrofoam. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet of them, because they knew I was going to the psych ward. So I was going to make their day a little bit brighter. And one time, I got 2 slices of cucumber in there. I don't know how they got that. It was the only fresh vegetable I ever saw in the jail. I was in the psych ward. And they would slip it to you, and then they wouldn't give you toilet paper. You had to ask for toilet paper. So every time the guard would come up, I said, can I have some toilet paper? And they'd rip off toilet paper and give it to me. Not a roll, but just like a handful. And I was hoarding it. And finally the guard said, I'm not giving you any more toilet paper. You don't have toilet paper. Like, well, I just wondering in case I have diarrhea or whatever. So anyway, this guy Daniel would not stop screaming. Okay, 20 hours a day, this guy screamed at the top of his lungs. He was like maybe 6-7 feet away from where I was. He could not stop screaming, la 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 la, on for hours and hours and hours on end. I'm like, what is going on here? I didn't sleep at all. Only like 4 hours a night. He quieted down. Dan quieted down, and I just laid there. I didn't sleep for 3 days. Finally, and they sent a guy around. There was a mental health counselor who came around once a day just to check on me, to make sure I was okay, and I was okay. I didn't have any problems. I thought everybody back in the Chomo unit was like missing me, right? I imagine I'd go back and I would say, Doug, how'd it go, man? What happened to you? No. When I came back, nobody cared. Nobody even looked at me. So finally, after 3 days, the psychiatrist comes out. She opens the door. She goes, are you ready to behave? That's what she said to me. Are you ready to behave? And I said, yes. She goes, okay, get the fuck out of here. So I went back to my dorm, and that was it. And that's the story of how to attempt suicide while in jail. Read my book, Broccoli Time by Dante Allen, available now on Amazon for only $3. Buy 1 million copies of them, and I'll make $3 million. Peace, love, out. Cut.